All right, now a massive nationwide investigation has exposed a major crisis in South Africa's public schools. The Education Labour Relations Council has flagged nearly 23,000 employee records for potential misconduct and payroll fraud. At the same time, the audit revealed that more than 610,000 pupils are attending school undocumented, and more than half of them are South African citizens. Joining us to explain these findings is the Education Labour Relations Council spokesperson, Bernice Loxton. Bernice, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it this morning for joining us on the show. Just to perhaps get a little bit more of the admin out the way too. This covers 8 provinces, if I'm correct, yes?
Good morning to you, Arabile, and to the viewers. You are correct, yes. 8 provinces participated in the verification process.
Are you able to share which province was the one that wasn't part of this? And any particular reason why? Sorry.
The Western Cape Education Department elected not to participate in the process up to completion. The department was represented by its HOD in the consultation engagements that we had with all stakeholders. The concern that the department had related to compliance with the POPI Act, and they sought legal advice. However, the ELRC ensured that all requirements were complied with, as we were advised by the information regulator. And our responsibility was to implement the request from parties to the ELRC to commission this project. And participation by provinces could not be imposed.
Yeah. So certainly not forced in that sense. Thank you so much for that. And I think that clarification kind of gives us a sense of understanding of where things lie and who and as well did not participate, etc. Are you able to share in terms of the provincial departments of education, which of those, of these 22,000 that were flagged for potential fraud, one must add as well? It's not necessarily that that is definitely the case, right? That's one. And two, which province actually has the highest of the 22,000 that were flagged?
The Eastern Cape reported the highest percentage of flagged personnel records, and this was followed by Gauteng at 9.2% and the Free State at 9.1%. It is important to note that a flagged record is not proof of wrongdoing. It simply means that the information requires further verification or correction.
Is this concerning for you? I mean, in previous iterations of a report like this, having nearly 23,000 being flagged for, as you said, potential misconduct, potential fraud, not that there's anything for certain, as you said right now. Would this be concerning for the ELRC?
It is concerning. However, like I mentioned, we at this point cannot label these as fraud or ghost workers in the system. The provincial departments of education, where there has been records that were flagged, they have been issued with reports for further investigation. And if there is any criminality that is identified, then that process would then be taken forward. But at this point, we cannot make the assumption that these are related, all these cases are related to fraud.
That also suggests, though, that there may be difficulty in then finding the proper allocation of funding, because if a situation like this is persisting, then the funding situation then doesn't get cleared up correctly, because you may be paying more or less than you possibly should because of a situation like this. How long do you think it usually takes to clear up whether that educator or that person actually exists within the system legitimately so?
Based on the flagged data sets that we have issued to the provinces, they would then, the report recommends is that there is quarterly reporting that is done, and we can confirm that at this point some of the provinces have started with their investigations, so that is promising.
Yeah. I think the other part of this that perhaps is worrisome is the verification uncovering that 324 staff members are employed by 2 departments simultaneously. How does a detection or something like that possibly happen, do you think?
The report states that the records that were flagged of these educators, it could not be matched to a corresponding PERSAL record. And some of the reasons that may be attributed is that these are temporary employees, that there are data capturing errors, or that there are staff that have not that are not yet reflected on the payroll system. So the report then recommends that provincial reconciliations and verifications are done before any conclusions are reached.
Okay, interesting one. Let's move on to the pupils here, and then this is with regards to this graph now that we're also showing on screen here. Over 610,000 undocumented pupils. Nearly half of them, or around half of them, are South African. In terms of them being undocumented, is there a way to ascertain why exactly that is? Why is it that they remain undocumented? One would think that from the moment you put them in any kind of schooling, that the primary need here is to get some sort of verification of who the pupil is or who the child is, etc., by form of a birth certificate or otherwise.
The suggestions from the report is that the problem is largely linked to delays or failures.
Welcome back to my channel. If today is your first time tuning to my channel, you're welcome. I put my Instagram one down boss again. What do you really think about this education labor? Report more than 610,000 undocumented students attend school among all of them. So what do you really think? Drop your opinion in the comment section and tell me what you really think about. If today is your first time tuning to my channel, you're welcome. Please always do it to like, share, comment, and also subscribe so that whenever I upload a video, you'll be the first one to verify. For my 10 subscriber, I say and every one of you for my 10 subscriber, I pray may God bless you. You guys are so wonderful. You guys are so amazing. On this channel,